Welcome back to Little Snickers, baby. I'm Michael fucking Rainey here with my friend Cal Dunjala.
Hey, Mike.
Jacob Furman Matera.
Hey, guys.
Danny Dubs. And my special friend, Chip Chantry.
We are special friends, aren't we, Michael?
Buddy, we've been special friends since day one.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited. I love this podcast, and I'm honored to be an honorary stinker today.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Well, you earned it, buddy.
Thank you.
Chip and I go way back. Chip, you might be my first comedy friend.
I specifically remember when we started. I think you started just a couple months after me, and I saw you on stage a few times, and you were a dirtball and hilarious, just hilarious. But you were mean on stage, and you came up to me after my set the one time, and you said, "Hey, I'm Mike. I just want to tell you, you're really funny." And I was like, "Oh, thanks."
Really nice.
And I just kind of turned away. I was like, because I thought you were just messing with me. Because I was like, "Oh, he's not that nice." And then I felt terrible because I realized you are just a sweetheart of a gentleman, and we became fast friends.
Oh, that's sweet of you. Chip, I remember the first funny thing I heard you say.
Oh yeah.
A gentleman, a mutual friend of ours, was talking about finding creative ways to promote his show.
Yeah.
And you said, "It's funny you bring that up because my cousin does skywriting." And he said, "Oh my God, really?" He said, "No."
Oh, that's great. I remember, Mike, my brother used to always ask me how open mic went because, we'd be going and I'm doing comedy now, and he'd ask me all about my set. And then he came out to see an open mic, and he saw you, and then he stopped asking about me, and he just wanted me to recite your jokes.
Oh, that's
He's like,
very
what did Mike Rainey do this week?
Chip's brother's the man. I actually fell asleep in his planetarium 2 years
It's cozy.
ago.
It is cozy.
Dude,
Damn, 2 years ago, so not even on perks.
no.
No?
It
Wow.
might have been 3 years ago, but Chip's brother, Chip actually does them with him sometimes.
Yep.
He runs these presentations at the planetarium at the school where he teaches, and it's the perfect thing. It's so relaxing that you will fall asleep,
Yeah.
but then you will also learn something, which is what I hope that people get out of this show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like school.
Devil.
Is it in the dark park? Is it part of that area where you're not allowed to have fires after a certain
I don't think you're
time?
allowed to say that.
I'm not talking about that one.
Wait, is in the dark? I've never heard of
I've heard of like a state park where you're not allowed to have headlights on after a certain hour.
He's been to places like that. He'll go and he's got these big telescopes. But he works for a school district, and the school district has a planetarium, so he works there.
So suck it.
Yep.
All right, now we're going to decide whether or not we're going to do an Impractical Jokers episode or whether we're going to get to do our stinker, who Chip is also a big fan of.
Can you rob it for good luck? I think this whole time I might have needed Chip's touch.
Yeah, I think
Actually, I'll give you some luck, too. Put it under each one of my breasts.
No, that's been an opportunity this whole time. All right, here we go. This one's for Joe Gatto, baby. Son of a bitch. Again.
We did it again, Jake.
Damn.
Jake, I never asked you, do you prefer stinker episodes or Impractical Joker episodes?
I've been pining for a Joker's episode, but I think now I'm starting to go stinker.
Good.
I'm jumping off the stinker
That's
train.
firmer coming out of him.
Giving up after 52 losses.
Yeah.
Now, last week, you guys were lucky enough to get treated to milkshakes. I was nice enough to do that for you.
That was very nice.
We're going to keep this going. I have a pizza party here for you tonight.
Thank you.
So, Jake, would you mind taking one of those pizza boxes for yourself and passing one to John and not opening it until I tell you to?
Oh, God. Okay.
So these pizzas are specifically for you.
All right.
Be an adult about this, by the way.
That's not pizza in there.
Stop it.
Oh, my God, Mike.
What?
I love pizza.
Tell me what you're thinking right now.
I know exactly what's in here.
What is
It
it?
smells like a
turd.
dead... Oh, no.
Open it up. I got you pizza.
Pizza. He showed me.
Oh, my God.
It's a cat shit.
Oh, it stinks, too.
They are cat turd.
Oh, my God. I don't want to hold it over my coffee.
of here.
What the hell?
Why would you do this to Chip?
Chip's a germaphobe.
I think you should get your money back from the pizza place, number one. I can't believe there's the culprit right there running away from the door. He watched the whole thing
dude.
go down.
You were
Keep that door open.
Jesus Christ. You weren't here. That Uber Eats guy was pissed when he showed up.
Did you know it was in there the whole time?
Maybe. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't.
Oh,
You
man.
weren't nearly as pissed about the smell as we were.
I know.
Oh,
I'm
I
so
thought it was a
excited.
dead mouse.
Did you just go put that in the fridge?
Yeah, I put it in Tupperware.
I liked it. I enjoyed it because it reminded me of my summer job when I was 14.
Delivering cat turds? All right, well,
I
that
got a large log for Annette.
Oh my god, that
seems like that might have been a little bit premature for the episode. Were we supposed to smell cat shit this early?
I inhaled it, dude. It's like in my brain.
Brother, I've been collecting cat shit since I got back from Cleveland, so so those turds were marinating.
Oh my god.
Do you want to know why I gave you shit in a box? Are you even curious?
Because it's half Christmas.
Mother's Day only comes once a year.
Yes, this is the 13th day of Christmas. You want to know why I gave you turds in a box?
I'm dying to know.
Because our stinker tonight paid gentlemen to shit in pizza boxes for him.
I think I would have preferred human shit, honestly.
Do you have any idea who I'm referring to?
I'm grateful that wasn't a hot
I got,
dog.
dozens of names running through my head.
Jake, you want to take a guess?
Papa John.
Better ingredients, better cat shit. Papa John's.
He was kind of a John, I'll say that.
You said it, buddy.
I always say that was not a hot and ready. I'll tell you that, Mike. What you just gave us, that was gross.
The gentleman I'm referring to is Uncle Eddie Savitz.
Uncle Eddie.
You know Uncle Eddie?
Yeah.
You don't?
He's a literal little
John,
stinker.
you don't know him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jake, you got to remember him.
I've heard a lore of Uncle Eddie, but I don't know too much about him.
Brother,
Before you get into, did you order 2 small pizzas or just ask for them for 2 boxes when you got there?
2 boxes.
Did you tell him why?
No, but I had my daughter pick them up. I was prepared to tell them that it's for a science experiment for my child.
Well, you weren't prepared to tell him anything. You didn't show up.
Well, if they called me.
I'm gonna need to talk to your parents.
Yeah, you need to sign for these small boxes.
If you go to Domino's and just ask for a Savitz, they'll just give you 2 boxes. They know. They know.
Now, Chip, you're...
It's a hot and Eddie.
Could you imagine seeing that on the Domino's pizza tracker? Just like you see somebody shitting over the box.
the turd's just emerging more and more.
Yeah, it's on its way.
Brother, as far as shit perverts go, Uncle Eddie takes the cake and he probably shits all over it, too.
He does.
Oh man.
I'm so excited to be here for this, Michael.
I am
you.
too.
Thank you for inviting me.
Now, one thing about Chip is like the sweetest human being you'll find on the planet. Like that love seat right there, that's sweetness home base with you two.
It looks like a before and after photo.
However, he's got Furman working against him, and Chip has a dark side, which I love. Mm-hmm. And part of the dark side is manning the Uncle Eddie Savitz fan club.
Yes. Yeah. Big fan of I don't want to give it away, but yeah, big fan of Uncle Eddie. Yeah.
He's on Twitter, isn't he?
I think he is at Eddie Savitz. I'm a big fan of that
I think
Twitter
so.
account. If you go to at Eddie Savitz, he still posts.
That's
And it's-
SAVITZ.
Yeah, Eddie EDDIESAVITZ. Yeah.
Is he's not a murderer?
No murders.
Okay.
Just
Just
perversions.
All right. He's been in handcuffs for doing some of this stuff, though, right? Yeah.
Might have been.
And he's local.
He is.
Yeah.
Can I-
Really?
Can I point
Oh,
out,
very local.
Mike, can I
God.
point out we've had 2 stinkers, non-murderers, both perverts,
Okay.
both from this area.
Wait, who's the other pervert? Swiss cheese? Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is. Yeah, he ranks up there. Like it was a big deal. I've been in the building that he did this. You might have actually been.
It's
too.
across from, I believe, the Bards.
Yes.
No.
20th and Walnut, yeah.
Yep.
Really?
Not to blow up his spot, but Ben of Helium, Ben Mayer, lived in that building when he
No
first moved there,
way.
so we would go hang out there. Yeah. So I've been to the building.
Do you know what his apartment number
I
was?
don't.
I actually found pictures.
I'm guessing it was number 2.
There it is.
I found pictures of Uncle Eddie's old apartment. You could rent it. Well, at the time of
Is
this
this the one he's
listing.
talking about being in?
In the building.
Yeah.
Building.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a high rise. So
Okay.
it's a high rise. You know where Bard's and like Irish Pub is
Yeah.
on Walnut.
Whatever that tall building next to there
Yeah,
is.
right across. Yeah.
Wow. This is close to home. What year are we talking when this?
He was
year
arrested in
range?
1992,
Okay, well before my time of being around here.
but he was shitting in boxes from the late 70s through the early 90s.
Yeah, shitting in boxes for 3 decades, baby.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more to this story, and we're going to give you the meat and potatoes of this. Then also we're going to finish up with a wild allegation, because I love litigiousness.
Mike, did you say he was shitting in the boxes?
He was,
Oh shit! I thought he was like demanding it.
and litigiousness ain't just the cashier at my Dollar Tree. So he was known as Uncle Eddie, Fast Eddie, and Dr. Feelgood.
Dr. Feelgood is
That's a good one.
I never realized that until I just looked that up. Yeah.
I'm not going to say this because he's a teacher now, but I'll tell you after.
Okay.
What I'm referring
Because
to.
who's a teacher now?
I can't give you this information.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
But our friend also has a variation of the name Dr. Feelgood.
Yes.
Oh.
I think I might have given him that nickname.
That's a great one for him.
Thank you. Yeah.
So he was born February 22nd, 1942, in the beautiful city of Philadelphia. All right. His parents were named Paul and Ann. He had 3 siblings, although I could only find documentation for 2 of them. So finding information for this was very difficult.
There's not a lot out there at all.
They
When was the last time he was on the news? The 90s?
1993 is when he died, right?
Yeah.
So pre-internet article stuff. So that's going to be hard to find, like newspaper clippings of.
Well, dude, I will say this. So the last news about him was 1993. However, in 2015, a local artist named Mark Brodzik was putting together an Uncle Eddie Savitz documentary. He held a Kickstarter for it. They were trying to raise $20,000. They raised the $20,000, but then all of a sudden it just went away. With a lot of information regarding this case, if you try to research it, you'll realize, like, okay, why isn't there more about this? Why didn't I hear about this? And on another scary note, his brother was a deputy attorney general for Pennsylvania who ended up killing himself in 1981. And you can't find any information about him.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that was Bud Dwyer.
No.
Okay.
No.
It was around the same era, but yeah, a little before that. Like he died, like it was like they said barbiturates, but like that could have been shady too. He might not have killed himself.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So his family, oddly enough, owned a business. It was probably going to turn your stomach when you hear what it was.
I've already smelled cat shit, so.
All right. They owned an arcade. Where do you think I'm going with this?
Cat turd gate.
Yes, Comet Litter. No, but Uncle Eddie, where he was getting the turds and the pizza boxes from were from teenage boys. So,
Okay, that's the worst of it?
no, well, quite possibly.
Okay, so he wasn't molesting little kids necessarily.
Well, it depends upon what your definition of molesting
Well, I
is.
mean, he's saying shit in this box
Yeah.
and turning around and not watching is not molestation.
If I can,
At least,
if I can
the way I
comment on
define it.
this,
Go ahead, Jake.
yeah, how I would do it, or how Furman would do it, you would never proposition the kids. First of all, you would turn off the toilet thing so it can't flush, and then be like, "Hey, kids, you can't do that. You can't. They don't flush. Now I got to clean out the shit." And then they walk in with pizza boxes and scoop them in
You'd
there.
scoop it. You would scoop it.
Or you do that thing where you put like what are they, like cellophane,
Yeah.
like where it's, as a prank over the thing, but instead just put a pizza box.
Chip, he would do that.
What?
Would he do that? Really?
He would, in some cases, he would line the bowl
Yeah,
with saran
Turd
wrap.
catchers.
dude. Yeah, because you can't like.
Is that one of the things you hang above your bed to prevent nightmares?
So all the bad diarrhea goes out while I sleep.
hasn't shit the bed since?
All right, so we're going to get into some of the more fucked
Wow.
up shit. So he was an actuary. Basically, I think that means that he measured financial risk for companies that were looking to insure their employees.
Okay.
And his family ran the insurance company. It was called Savitz, the Savitz organization.
Yep.
He should have been a plumber.
His brother Samuel was the CEO, and Eddie was the vice president.
Okay.
He graduated first in his class from West Philly High. Like Will Smith.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. I bought I bought one pair of children's underwear. My mom got scared.
Yeah, don't sell that man your underwear.
All right, he finished first in his class out of 278 people. He graduated in 1959. What do you think he was voted most likely to do?
Succeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
He was
was.
likely to succeed.
Yeah.
He was like beloved. Everybody loved him. He was like super
First in his
smart.
class, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
And that's
was
when
he an
it was
athlete as well?
Like, I don't know.
Quarterback, captain?
I don't think so. If you see him, I shouldn't say. He is kind of handsome because when my wife came in and saw his picture, she's like, "That's him," and I don't know what that means. Like,
Yeah.
I got to start locking the door. But yeah, he finished number 1 in his class. But
Wow.
man, how great would it have been if he finished number 2? And he got a full ride to Penn to study economics. He ended up studying Freakonomics, though. if you ask me myself personally, or if you ask litigiousness, she'll tell you that he studied Freakonomics.
He might have had some dollars, but he didn't have any sense.
He graduated in 1963, and he ended up getting into the law school program at Penn. He made it 2 years.
The Wharton School, or is that business?
That's business. He made it 2 years, but he was like, "Fuck this! I'm not doing this."
It's only a 3-year program.
Dog, he knew it wasn't for him.
Damn.
He enrolled in Temple after that into their music program.
Damn.
Did you know he was? I actually looked this up. He was actually in a number of bands during that time because he was a music student. He was in a number of bands.
Oh, he was?
Back then, yeah. He was in Blood, Sweat, and Poop. I think that was The Lovin' Spoonful. The Dookie Brothers. Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Just Right. And, of course, Depeche Commode.
Was he also in Korn?
Does Chip have any idea about your music career?
Do you know that I performed with Dirty Diamond?
Yo, I know Dirty Diamond.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sleazy E and Dirty Diamond.
Yes. Yeah.
Tell him your name in the band.
Ricky Full Throttle Fuckenheimer. So I did a handful of shows with them. I believe it was like 2007.
Can I make sure
Yeah, go
he
ahead.
knows?
Do you know who Dirty Diamond is?
No.
Okay.
I only know he's the only member I've ever had had the pleasure of meeting. But you can tell me what their primary cover was.
So they would...
Not just one song, but...
He would do Neil Diamond
Yes.
covers, but they were all like filthy,
Yes.
offensive
When he
songs.
told us this,
Yeah.
after hundreds of hours of this not coming up, all three of us thought he was fucking around and just riffing it on the spot.
100% real.
But then we found some recordings and everything.
Our first
Turned
show
out to be true.
The first show that I did with him was at the Khyber, which also happened to be the same place where Chip hit me with the funniest roast joke that anybody's ever hit me with. He said, when Mike was thinner, people said he looked like Orlando Bloom. Now that he's gained weight, he looks more like Orlando International.
Is that why you love Orlando International Airport so much?
Well, I was also on perks. Buddy, my flight got delayed when I was like at the height of my perkdom. My first summer that I got a painkiller prescription. Coming back from Disney, running out of money, and our flight got delayed. So this was July 3rd, I believe. So that night, we had to stay at the airport. Inside the airport is a hotel which faces into the airport. It's very cool looking. And they had us staying there. And on top of that, too, in the, in the common area, like looking down from the fucking balconies onto the area where people pass through in the airport, the Orlando Symphony was playing there. So I was whacked on painkillers watching the Orlando Symphony about to go to fucking Applebee's or whatever was in there.
That's a beautiful moment.
It is, yeah.
Damn.
I think you're officially a citizen of Florida now.
All right, so in 1963, he falls in love and he gets married.
What a lucky lady.
Mm-hmm. He marries a lucky lady. What did you just do, Jake?
I just laughed.
Oh, I thought you were smelling your hand for some reason.
Did you get your hands into those cat turds? Look at his hands.
He's got one in his mouth. Chip, get it out.
He's got litter all over his fucking litter crumbs all over his sweatshirt.
I feel like hold his nose.
But he married a lovely lady by the name of Judith Widman. Well, I shouldn't say it didn't last long because it lasted fucking 10 years. In 1973, he gets divorced.
And then he spent the rest of his time with men.
You devil. I want to add this, too. There were 2 times before his infamous arrest where he was busted. And I've seen various times mentioned on the internet. But it seems as though one happened in the 70s and one happened in the late 80s, possibly 1990. And they were both for crimes similar to what he was ultimately popped for. Now, the first one, the case just got thrown out. No one knows why it got thrown out. I think it has more to do with his brother being the deputy attorney general. And when we get into the last thing that I'm going to mention, I think it's even easier than having to call your brother and ask for a legal favor to make shit go away.
Everything happened in Philly County.
Everything that he got arrested for, yes. Furman, what's going on in that beautiful brain of yours?
I was just, nothing.
Now, he initially, after he left his wife, he lived at an apartment building called St. James Place, which is also in Rittenhouse Square.
Yep.
And for those of you not from Philly, Rittenhouse Square is this beautiful area typically inhabited by the hyper-wealthy.
The cosmopolitan of...
Yes, cosmetologists.
Yes.
Inhabit it.
That's where the makeup artists live.
Yep.
No, it's like, super nice, super swanky.
I'm going to keep the rest of my words to 3 syllables or less.
But you got to have some serious shit pervert money to live in Rittenhouse Square. That's where his first place was. And residents at the first place, after everything blew up and everybody became aware of what he did, people would say, like, yeah, he was doing that shit here. And they would talk about heavy metal types coming through there at all hours. What he was doing was he was paying local neighborhood teenagers to come in to shit in pizza boxes. He would also offer to buy their dirty socks and underwear. On that note, I asked each of you to bring something tonight. Did you bring it?
I brought it.
Okay. It's a present for our guests. Chip, we don't want any guests here to leave here empty-handed. So Jake, John, and I each brought you something. So close your eyes, please. We would like you to have a pair of our used underwear, Chip. So take it home.
What a
run Jake's underwear up the flagpole.
what a thrill! What a I've never had. This is just such an honor. I appreciate this so much. Thank you.
You're
gentlemen.
welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'll cherish it always.
Give them to the cats.
Yeah.
But dude, in addition to
I'm just honored. Yeah.
I expected you to be a lot more of a germaphobe, to be honest with you.
You know what? I think I'm just. It's the
You're really
gesture.
getting good.
It's so.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. This is.
He can tell that it's a heartfelt gesture. But dude, in addition,
I'm just gonna sit them right here. So
Yeah,
I
it's
can
fine.
look-
Yeah,
so
set
I
them
can
on
look-
fire.
so I can look at them.
okay.
You want to put them in the pizza box?
Yeah, if I could, yeah.
In addition to buying dirty underwear and socks, in addition to having teenagers shit into pizza boxes, in addition to having them shit into toilets where the bowl is coated in saran wrap, I have also seen people mention, although I haven't found anything to substantiate this, that he also had a children's potty
Yep.
that he would place over his own face and have people sit on it and shit into his mouth. Mm-hmm. He would pay to have people spit into his mouth.
That is like...
COVID.
I would let somebody do that after hearing this other shit. Spitting into your mouth is like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
After someone...
That's like sherbet.
Dude, all right, so he was having people shit into the box.
And that was the
then they
big thing
leave,
for me.
and then he does what with the shit? He eats it out of the pizza box?
He at least keeps it, because when his apartment eventually gets raided, police substantiate this, but also when they interview kids that have been in the apartment, they say his bedroom it's just filled with stacks of pornography and shitty underwear, like stacked up high.
I think he had a storage unit too, I believe.
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
And when they, we'll get to it like when they raided it and what they found. But his apartment smelled so bad like shit that the lady who lived across the hall from him had to move apartments.
How is that how they handled it? Why didn't they give him the fucking boot?
Because he's very wealthy.
Oh my God. So Elon Musk could just shit anywhere he wants.
Yes.
And no one will say a fucking word to him.
Nobody. And that's why he bought Twitter.
He's going to call it shitter from now on.
Jesus Christ, man.
But dude, after he moves out of St. James Place, and the reason why I heard that he moved out was that one of the gentlemen that he invited in for some poop ended up attacking him and broke his arm. So he moved out of there, and he moved to 20th and Walnut to the Wanamaker house. He lived on the 23rd floor, and we're going to put up pictures of his place, and it's a pretty nice place. Right now, it goes for you can rent it for close to $3,000. But back then, he bought it for just over $200,000. 2 bedrooms. The building is a big building. There's over 300 units in there.
Did he own the last unit where the lady had to move? His across the hall neighbor moved, or was he just renting there?
He bought it. Now, I don't know if he was initially renting and then bought it. He bought it in 1988. So I don't know when he moved in there or
When that lady had enough of
the
stench.
Was that his like playhouse? Like the one?
Dude, everything ran through his house, it seemed.
Yeah.
Right? So he would have these local teenagers. He primarily preyed upon kids from Grace Ferry section of Philly, kids that went to St. John Newman, and then there was another school called Highland High School, which is in Camden County, New Jersey.
Okay.
So these were where most of the kids that ended up coming forward said that they paid him for various things.
He apparently had a St. John Newman's high school yearbook that he used as like a catalog to be like
dude,
that one.
Had him.
Yeah.
Is it all guys that he's getting his shit in the box?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
So,
Dude, I'm glad you brought that
He had
up.
a big sign up on the door, and it was like written in like kids, and it just said "No girls allowed."
Dude, shortly after he got arrested, the March 30th, 1992 edition of the Daily News, there was a quote in there when they asked one of the kids that had been in there and that had visited his apartment on numerous occasions what his rules were in regards to who could go up there, who could be referred, who could not. And this person said, and I quote, "No fatzos, no gays, no blacks, and no girls." So, in other words, the worst party ever.
Dude, I wouldn't be allowed to shit in the box?
None of us would.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, we're all fatzos.
Chip could shit.
Yeah, Chip.
You could.
I could pass for a teen.
Danny would fucking breeze through security.
Oh yeah, he's the heavy metal type right there.
He gets to skip the line, dude.
Yeah.
Fatzos would give you the best shits. Like, why are you skipping out on that?
He would encourage kids to eat cheese before they came.
Yeah, he wants that. He wants a turd. He doesn't
Wait.
want some fucking shrimp basket
Doesn't-
landed in his
doesn't-
pizza box.
Cheese block you up though? Like, doesn't it?
It thickens it.
And it also
it-
it also made it taste better. That's what he would say. Honestly, yeah, that's
up.
I believe that's what
He
it was.
knew the difference.
He knew the difference
between a
Yes.
cheesy shit.
Oh my god.
At least that's what I read, and
No
like
way,
that's what I
dude.
remember. Yeah, that's what it said.
Is
And
he
that's
What you
German?
read in your fucking newsletter?
No, he's Jewish.
Is he?
Yeah. So the opposite.
Yeah.
So
Well, okay. Besides it being underage, like if all these kids were 18, I don't think is any of this illegal. Technically,
Well, it was. So at the time, I don't know if it's still this way, but at the time, if they were 16 and up, he was in the clear.
It's like that trash rule. It's like once you get rid of it, it's anybody's.
can you diagram that thought for me?
When you shit, you get rid of it, you throw it away from your body, and then he just takes it out of the trash, the toilet.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's
Thanks for clarity.
Yeah.
in addition to the other things that I mentioned that were on Uncle Eddie Savitz's menu. One of the victims mentioned something else that was like so insane that I came very close to turning off my computer. He said one of the things that he was also into was dressing up like Darth Vader. I'm not done.
Wait for it.
I'm not done. and paying someone to use their penis and using his own penis as lightsabers and have a fight with their birds.
That's awesome. That is like a gay guy's fucking dream. That's so fucking cool. If they were willing, if the partner was willing.
Yeah.
Could you imagine just being gay with your best friend, dressing up in Star Wars costumes and banging dicks till you got so horny you fucked each other?
Do you think they use lube or how to use the Force?
I thought you were going to say he kept the helmet on and then somebody would shit in his mouth as he said, "Poop, I am your water."
I think he did.
And that, I think, cinches me for the dumbest fucking sentence of the podcast.
No, I'm ready. This is the dumbest one. Of all the things he did, that Star Wars thing, he did actually confirm that Greedo came first.
I thought he came first.
Wait, did you tell me the door yet?
What's that?
The door situation?
With the deadbolts?
No, he would sometimes pay the kids to slam his bird in a door.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was
Hard? I hope so.
I guess so. I mean, if you're paying for it, put a little elbow grease in it, like.
No. I mean, is his dick hard for it?
Oh yeah,
'Cause that's like...
It probably sounds like the door stopper. When you wing it.
So pretend your parents just sent you to your room. Damn.
Now, most of these things, I've seen varying prices, but the going rate on most of this shit seem to be between $20 and $50. And you could also get a $20 referral fee.
A Wawa gift card.
He's like Uber Eats.
He would also give him like concert.
Uber Eats.
He would give him like concert tickets and like football tickets too. Like they would
That's
get
a
like,
big score.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I guess it's all about $20 back then. Concert's probably $20
Yeah, I
back
guess
in the
that's
day.
true. Like it's not. Yeah.
Well, now that you bring that up, I might as well mention this now. So, one of the few videos you could find talking about the Eddie Savitz case comes from this the artist that I think I already mentioned, Mark Brodzik. He runs this YouTube channel, or he used to. It's still up, but he hasn't posted anything new in about 4 years. It's called Scrapple TV. And Mark was putting together this Uncle Eddie documentary called The Resurrection of Uncle Eddie. And two of the videos that you can still find on there are with Mark Brodzik interviewing a guy named Greg Butcheroni, who was one of the teenagers who used to go to Eddie Savitz's apartment and get paid for his services.
A survivor who's telling his story.
Yes. Yeah. What he recounts is extremely believable, and then more so than that, makes this story 1,000 times more fucked up than it's presented. He says that Uncle Eddie worked in conjunction with Jerry Sandusky.
No way.
He says when Sandusky would come to Philly and Atlantic City, he would bring his kids from Second Mile, and when Eddie Savitz would go out to State College, he would bring kids from the South Philly Boys Club.
This is 88 still, or 80s?
All throughout the 80s, yeah.
Yeah, like 70s and 80s.
Early 90s.
Wow, dude.
And he said that...
That's fucking crazy.
Like Chip mentioned with the football tickets, they said they would go to fucking Eagles games, Penn State games, Army-Navy games.
Wow.
They would take them to Great Adventure. And they would basically be brought to these events, according to this guy, Greg Butcheroni, and said that they were essentially pimped out. I remember hearing this guy named Mark Madden, who's a writer, and he's also on, I don't know if he does sports talk or he just appears on sports talk, but when the Sandusky story first broke in 2012, he was the first person, one of the few people who said that the Sandusky is just the figurehead in all this. He said the problem runs so much deeper than people could ever fathom that it's going to be, when it's all revealed, it's going to be catastrophic. And this ties into all of that.
Man.
And this guy, Greg Butcheroni, says that Eddie Savitz would work in conjunction with Sandusky, and then they would occasionally work in with this guy named Lawrence King, who was pimping teen girls out of, I believe, Omaha, Nebraska. So this is a nationwide
Cross country,
thing.
yeah.
This is Pizzagate.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah,
but
that's-
real.
Yeah.
And dude, one of the guys that they interviewed, because they actually did some of the fucking documentary. They just never released it. The only thing that they released was a trailer for it. And in the trailer, what was the name of the guy that was just on Matt and Shane that wrote the Franklin scandal?
I forget.
Nick something.
Yeah.
But they got him to be a part of the documentary.
Okay.
So all of this is basically, he's cherry picking kids, not only from these schools and from these neighborhoods, but according to this guy, Greg Butcheroni, Eddie Savitz was going to the South Philly Boys Club and handpicking kids from there too.
And being like, get in my car, I'm renting a bus to go up to Penn State,
Dude,
or like
Yeah, and
5 at a time, or like a bus full of fucking 20 kids.
They would just—I don't know how many exactly, but I would imagine it would be a lot.
Yeah.
and they come.
Did you know this connection, Chip?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they come from such disadvantaged areas where they're not going to get any pushback from the kids' parents.
Right. It's like, oh, you're getting him out of the house to do.
Yeah,
what's
cool.
that?
Take him.
Fuck him in his ass. Fine. I just need to let it alone. Been a long time since I've had the house to myself.
Calgon, take me away.
Dude. So in this, it's broken up into two parts. This video with Mark Brodzik and Greg Butcheroni, and in both parts they talk about how the grooming process worked, and then also what the trips entailed. And they talk about going to Eddie Savitz's place at the Wanamaker house and getting to use the pool, and him grooming kids in the pool, like gradually, like ramping up
Physical contact.
with
Is that
them.
what grooming is? Like legit? I'm legit asking.
Yeah, it's
Which is
basically like
making them
pushing
more
your
and more
boundaries.
comfortable
Yeah,
with
yeah.
inappropriate touch. Okay, so this is now obviously clearly illegal. Did he start just with this poop fetish stuff, where it was like almost like obviously freaky and weird, but like not as abusive as it is to fucking pimp kids out? You know what I
I
mean?
don't know if he started with that, but I know that seemed to be. I guess if we're looking at this in terms of a menu, that would be the appetizers.
Gross.
But every kid that came forward to say that they were victimized by him said that he would always like offer these other things, like in addition to the shit that we mentioned, like fucking socks and underwear and shitting in boxes. He would also offer to like take pictures of them for more money, and then in addition to that, it was like pay to let him suck their dicks and pay to let them have them butt fuck him. And to that point, that's the clip that I sent you the other day.
That's the fucking
Yeah.
guy talking about this?
Yeah. Let me play that
Jesus
clip.
Christ.
So
It's a great line, if it's what I'm thinking of.
it is. And I sent John this clip the other day.
Yeah, he really got me with this one.
Baby. I really got him good. So
He said, I heard people talking about you on a podcast I was listening to.
and then I sent this at like 11 a.m. and I knew John wasn't going to get up until about 4.
Yeah.
But I wanted him to see this, and he says, "What podcast was it, Mike?" And this is the clip that I sent him.
He baited me good.
How many penises can this guy suck and swallow? I mean, he would have kids, if it's 24 hours a day, this guy would give oral sex to kids 24 hours a day. And I used to think in the back of my mind, how much can he suck?
That's the first thing I got to hear when I woke up.
You're like, oh my God, Rich Voss was talking about me.
But dude, to that point, like there were fucking. It was just like a like this nonstop procession of kids going up to his fucking apartment at all times. So he fucking paid the doorman off.
Yeah.
Because they had to get past the doorman. Initially, kids were just going up to his apartment, but the kids that were going up there were causing such a ruckus on the way up there that building management had to step in and say something to fucking Eddie Savitz and say, look, if any guests come over, you have to meet them at the front desk and bring them up.
And did he oblige by that or just pay
He
off?
did. He did. He obliged by it. And it was
He's a good guy.
rules are rules
Let me
with
go
this
pick
guy.
these little rugrats up from the lobby.
Rules are rules with this fucking guy. But he would come down to do that. But it was all fucking day long. There was a time.
It's
like,
all teenage boys.
It's all teenage boys. On the lower end, I've seen people mention that 14-year-olds were going in there, But on the higher end, people were saying that like guys in their early 20s were going there.
Yeah.
You just had to fit that criteria where it was like no fatzos, no gays, no girls, no blacks.
It's like Menudo.
How do you?
Yeah, he's like the Ricky Martin of Menudo.
How do you meet other perverts? Like, I mean, I'm not asking
Oh,
for
dude.
myself, but I mean,
Yeah,
for like
pre-internet,
him and
like,
Sandusky. I just want to clarify.
How at a bar do you bring it up?
Stinked in, I think is one of them.
You open up an on my Facebook account. Jake, to that point, in that interview that I mentioned with that gentleman, Greg Butcheroni, he says that he personally hand delivered film to the film developing lab that Richard Kuklinski worked at for Roy DeMeo,
Whoa.
where they would develop child porn.
Damn, another little tie it all together.
Yep.
Wow.
For two completely unrelated events.
Yeah. And he said that like it was just like the most fucked up shit that you could imagine was getting sent to this film developer, and then they would then sell it, and then they said they would use the post office across from 30th Street Station in Philly, you know, that huge building.
Yeah.
They would go there. They had a P.O. box there. And when the film was done, it would get sent to the P.O. box in that building.
Dude, I used to walk by the building like every day.
For that reason.
It was like his red box.
Brown box. Damn it, Mike.
But I
Do you have
mean,
young guns too? It's not in yet.
do you have younger guns too? So I think the magnitude of this shit is more far-reaching than anybody could ever comprehend.
Yeah.
And I think the game is that all these high-profile people, in addition to famous people, they mentioned that there's judges, there's cops, there's local politicians, there's basically anybody that you will find in any given community at these events becoming aware of one another, and they all have dirt on one another.
Jeez.
So if you're at one of these events, then... So, Jake, go to a second mile fundraiser.
Oh my God. Is that why the Phillies lost the 93 World Series? They're like, Mitch, you have to throw it right down the middle and make everyone in Philly hate you.
Yeah. So, he's getting all these kids to come in there, and it gets to the point where the police end up wiretapping his phone. What brings about that is that management gets so many complaints from other people that live in the building about all these fucking kids that are going up to his room constantly. The smell of shit is all throughout the entire fucking complex.
Now, when he walks out on the street, does he stink like shit walking
He
on the
does.
street? Or does he look like a fucking, well-to-do, 100,000 doo-doo man?
Yeah, he looks well-to-do, but one of the neighbors that was interviewed after he got caught said like he smelled like shit. She's like, in addition to smelling like shit, he didn't outwardly project anything evil, but she said he just gave her the creeps.
Just imagine trick-or-treating in that building and getting to his apartment. It's like, never mind. Please be a pencil. Please be a pencil.
But dude, he had rules. If you went up to his apartment, there were rules. It was you had to call first. When you went up there, you could either go alone or only in pairs. Okay.
The buddy system.
Yeah. However, like there was one of the victims like talks about how it would literally be a line out the door.
Jesus Christ.
But when you went into his bedroom, which had 8 deadbolts on it, when you went into his bedroom,
No way.
yeah,
That's a lot of dead balls.
it is, yeah.
That's-
So when you had that in there, like there were 8 deadbolts and they were shut behind you, and there was only one other person in the apartment waiting in the living room,
Everyone else was in the hallway
in the hallway.
to, make it look like everything is cool.
But dude,
Why wouldn't he just let him in the fucking living room so they could play video games
Yeah.
and not have a line of young boys on your floor?
John, I just think he was so well connected that he did not give a fuck.
And dude,
fucking
the
crazy.
locksmith installing 8
Yeah,
locks.
right.
Like that doesn't say
On
like,
a
hey,
bedroom door. That's 8
maybe
too
I
many.
should tell the building manager about this 8 lock situation.
One other funny thing is a couple other funny things. Apparently, he was really good at playing piano, and he would often play when he had teenagers up to his apartment. He would often play for them. So imagine like you're trying to squeeze one out to a pizza box, and you hear Moonlight Sonata start playing in the next room.
Boats fart.
Plop sticks.
Spraytoven.
And he always wore toupees, and
It is kind of the creepiest part. Yeah.
Wait,
he does have a
toupees?
creepy looking toupee. Yeah.
he would lie about why he didn't have any hair. He says that he was a veteran who was a former Marine, and he would tell kids that his hair got blown off in the war.
Damn, that is fucking funny, dude. Damn. Now, shit in this box.
There was a doorman that was interviewed right after
Full Metal Undies.
one of the,
Private pile.
one of the doormen that got interviewed after he got caught said that on a slow night there would be 2 to 3 kids going up there
Every single night.
every single night. However,
This guy's eating cum and shit for dinner every
He's really
single
eating
night.
this stuff.
yeah, Jake, I don't know what to tell you, man. When he got caught, all right, so because of the traffic that was going in there, residents started to complain. Then eventually, I think a couple kids' parents went to the police. So the sex crimes unit started to look into it more. They were able to, they initially started with lobby surveillance, and they saw all these fucking kids going in and asking for him. So that led to them getting a warrant to tap his phone. And in the month before he got caught, in 1 month, he received 3,800 phone calls.
3,800?
Yep, and remember, one of the rules was you had to call him before you came over.
So that could be maximum 1 call for 2 kids if they're using the buddy
Yeah,
system.
yeah.
So 16 or 38 divided by 2. I don't think we have time for this.
19.
Close to
Multiply by
2,000.
Multiply by 2. Because it was
Oh,
2
yeah.
per phone
All right.
call.
All right,
So,
so times
at least
two-
3,800.
It would be
It's like almost
76.
8,000.
Dude,
Oh, my God.
Now, going back to the clip that I just played with the guy saying, how much penis could this guy suck?
Yeah.
Yeah, now it's all starting to make sense.
Yeah.
And like they talk about it, like you hear from some of the victims, and it was just known throughout Grace Ferry, throughout South Philly, into South Jersey.
Like, that's how you can make some money?
That's how you can. I don't want to get too far ahead of me, but like little, I think like older brothers would like tell their younger brothers, and it was just like passed around the school, and people were like, "Oh, you want some money, you want some tickets, you want some of this," and then like it was just kind of a joke, and because like some of it was like obviously some of it was
When it starts with shitting in a box, it's like, all right, that's weird.
that's weird, but
I'll go to the Eagles
he
game
just wants
for
to
that.
buy like you could like
Yeah.
buy your dirty underwear,
Right.
Like, I'll just sell my dirty underwear and like whatever. That's not sexual. That's not weird. That's just weird.
Then you
Are
get
you gonna
addicted
sell
to going
ours?
to Eagles games.
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna put these on eBay. Is that all right?
yeah. It sounds like he started MLMs.
Yeah.
Just like you get 10 of your friends to come over and shit in this box.
But like for decades, people knew that was just, oh yeah, that's where you go to get money.
Yeah.
I thought he
Yeah,
was
That's
fake.
crazy.
Because this guy used he was a like construction guy. He'd always come in and tell these stories about this guy. And I just thought he was just like a fairy tale.
You just thought he was a weird story maker upper.
Yeah, I was like, this is just weird stuff.
It's actually weird for you to be making this stuff up, fella. He was just trying to tell you the truth.
Now, after they did the lobby surveillance, they got a warrant to tap his phone, and then they got a warrant to break into his apartment and install a camera.
Dude.
They had to get a locksmith in
Yeah.
to undo the fucking deadbolts on the front door. They were able to do that while he was at work. They got the camera in there. And then shortly thereafter that was March 25th, 1992. So they were actually occupying an empty apartment 2 floors down.
Wow, this is a real sting.
Yeah. So they were
Stink.
We got a stink operation.
So they were occupying an apartment 2 floors down, and on March 25th, they saw two 15-year-olds going into the apartment, and they saw Savitz pay them for underwear and socks. Oh, one of the trade-offs was, I forgot to mention this.
Not illegal, right? That can't be
Well, that was his
illegal.
argument, because when he got popped, he's like, I was paying for clothes. Is that illegal?
Yeah.
All right. He would give you fresh underwear and socks.
That's amazing. I was wondering that earlier, if they knew to bring their own extras, because obviously it needs to be fresh, dirty.
Yeah.
So it's coming off your body. But he had supplies. He had a good heart.
That is a great deal. Like,
Yeah.
could you imagine? Like,
You get to trade in every day.
I'd have a job. Like, I'd have a job when I was a teenager. Like, the 80s, if I lived there, it would be the best. It's just like, you just go over, you give them your underwear, you like slam a dude's wang in the door, and you get Huey Lewis tickets. Like, it'd be the great. I'd be like, it'd be the greatest thing in the world.
When I was your age.
Oh, this is it.
Well,
When I was your age, I
Except
had
a
to
B
walk
square.
uphill both ways to shit in a pizza box.
Can I ask, how did he make money? Like, I mean, I know he's at the company, but like, if he's paying these kids each time,
He's still getting that VP salary, right? He's still the VP of that company?
here's the deal. When that company, the last that I heard of the Savitz organization, they were bought out by a company called CBiz in 2016, and they listed their employee count as being like 110, and they had $20 million in revenue,
wow.
which divided amongst the company, I don't know how much that could be for them. My feeling is, looking back at the child pornography angle, I think he probably was able to make a lot of money off of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess he was getting trickled down from all these Sandusky relationships, and, he was getting a piece of all that with the bus trips and everything.
Now, after he got arrested,
He was also getting trickled down from the potty chair.
I guess trickle down was a bad choice of words.
that's trickled down freakonomics. Now, he was eventually sued by a lot of his victims, and his lawyer claimed that he only had $93,000 in assets. So, considering all the victims that teamed up for this class action lawsuit, I think they all stood to maybe get $1,500 a piece.
They got their pay in the 80s, man. I mean, let's say he's making $250,000 a year in the 80s as the VP, $200,000. That's still enough to pay your rent and
Dude,
But John, think about
pay $100 a day in dirty underwear.
dog. But at that rate, that's on a low end, though.
Yeah.
yeah. That's insane. Those numbers.
I wonder, considering his family owned an arcade, I wonder if he had one of those quarters belt he's paying you out on. So he gets involuntary deviant sexual intercourse, promotion of prostitution.
What's involuntary about that? What do you mean?
Maybe if it's they're underage.
Yeah, because the victims are underage. 16,
Yeah.
he would have been in the clear. However, for these two particular
I
kids,
thought for some reason, I'm fucking so stupid. I was like, you didn't really want to be a sexual pervert. It was involuntary what you did.
he couldn't help
Sorry.
himself. So he gets charged with these, and his argument was: is it illegal to pay for clothes?
That's a solid argument.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying this whole
Yeah.
time.
And-
Even paying for someone's shit, right?
I'm
I
a
don't think that's a law.
Like, I've gotten some clothes at Burlington Coat Factory that was a little dicey. I'm like, this is kind of gross, but yeah.
Initially, his bail is set at $3 million, which his brother Samuel puts down at $300,000, and he gets out right away.
Okay.
Within days, more and more kids come to the police to say, like, yeah, this happened to me, this happened to me, this happened to me. So they're able to rearrest him, I think, like 4 days later. And this time his bail's $20 million. So he's not getting out. On a funny note, he was beat up on his way to jail the first time. They put him in a paddy wagon. There were other dudes in there. They beat him up and they stole his watch.
I wish they would have stole his underwear.
And then he bought him back.
What are you in for? Buying dirty undies.
You sick freak! Murderers and rapists beating the shit out of you.
But he's loving it the whole time.
He's got his mouth open. I got it.
How much do I owe you, fellas?
Slam my dick in the door.
Luke, I am your father.
Do you think when he did the Darth Vader thing, every time he saw another bird, he would just go,
But dude, after they raid his apartment and they eventually raid his storage unit, they find over 5,000 photos that he took of these teenagers.
What was he like holding the camera, like making them pose, or like doing candid shots, or was it like a hidden camera?
No, well, he had a Polaroid camera that he would use. So, but what I don't...
It was actually just their faces through a wooden board with like a lady in a bikini.
Who put the ram in the ram?
It's like, welcome to Myrtle Beach.
But dude, on top of the 5,000 photos, between his apartment and the storage facility that they raided, they put together over 300 trash bags of dirty underwear and socks.
Jesus, could you imagine being one of those people who buy storage units? And you get
The bidding starts at,
Yep.
oh my God.
Yep.
Yeah, nobody's gonna buy these shitty underwear, and then some guy in a raincoat just like.
Now, right after he was arrested, like he let it be known pretty quickly that there was another new wrinkle to this story. What do you think it was?
My God.
It was 1992.
He already mentioned the World Series,
Yeah.
and you guys said no to that.
Well, maybe not. I don't want to. Not specific to that year, but that era. Yeah.
The Dream Team is involved somehow.
Something about Rizzo.
Does it have to do with Charles Barkley's golf swing?
No.
Is it Mayor Rizzo related?
No.
AIDS.
Yep.
Yeah?
He's got AIDS.
He's got dirty
no.
underwear poop aids.
The worst kind.
What he gets eating all that shit. Was it from, I mean, obviously they don't fucking have a clue what it's from. All the gay sex.
It was a blood
shit eating.
transfusion that he had as a child. Yeah.
He's like, I can't have dirty underwear poop AIDS. I wore a condom every time I ate these kids' underwear.
That's actually,
Go ahead, Jake.
I was gonna say that's actually what Philadelphia was based on.
I was gonna say, dude.
They just took the notes. They're like, "Oh, we have some notes. Why don't we cut out all the shit underwear scene?"
The sheets of Philadelphia. Did I ever tell you guys that when when the Streets of Philadelphia came out when I would say that, what was that, like 91?
Yeah, something.
Yeah, 93. Yeah, something like that.
I was 12 or 13. I was so depressed as a child that I had the Streets of Philadelphia soundtrack, and I would play Streets of Philadelphia over and over again and pretend that I have AIDS and think about all the sympathy I would get.
Jesus Christ.
Like,
You have had...
You just needed a summer job. And I don't know just the place you could have gone.
Gee, thanks, mister.
Man,
Flips you a quarter.
you were almost of age to be hanging out in Center City selling your goodies.
Mike and I are right about the same age, and that
Did you
was
live
so
in the city at the time?
I lived in the suburbs.
Okay.
And that's the crazy part, because it's like you're just becoming that age. Like I'm a young teenager, probably, whatever. And then like, so you're learning about dating and sex and stuff like that. And then like on the news for just like the biggest story in the world is the craziest sexual deviant you'll ever hear of.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
I was
And it's,
actually
like right down the street.
There's a week, and thank God, I don't know how nothing bad happened, but there was a week in the summer of 1991, I believe, where my aunt took my sister and I to Baltimore. She worked for the IRS, and she would have to spend like a few days at a time in a given city. She would travel around a lot. And this summer, she was going to Baltimore for a week. So she asked my sister and I if we wanted to come along. And I think I was like 12. So my sister, myself, and one of my aunt's coworkers brought her 12-year-old son. The three of us, we just roamed around Baltimore for a week.
Jesus
God.
Christ.
And dude, one of my most vivid memories is, do you know the little mall that's at the Inner Harbor? Mm-hmm. Well, by the mall, I don't know if it's still there, but there used to be this cool fountain area. Mm-hmm. And we saw people bathing in it. Like now I know it's like homeless people bathing. Mm. I just thought they were trying to cool off. So my sister, my friend,
It's
and
only
I,
80 degrees out. Why are they in the fountain?
my sister, my friend, and I went into the water and were swimming in the water where these people were bathing.
Oh man, it's actually one of the safer things you could have been doing in Baltimore at that time.
But we had a blast, man. And one of my favorite memories was we rented Silence of the Lambs had just come out. That you could get that on pay-per-view, in the hotel room. We watched that, and we watched Sleeping with the Enemy.
Silence of the Lambs, almost tame compared to the story you just told me.
On an Uncle Eddie note, when the AIDS angle came out, people were losing their fucking minds. There was so much misinformation at the time too. Even at the hands of local AIDS organizations. There was a local AIDS organization called ACT UP. Look at him. Firm is about to act up his damn self.
No.
But a representative from ACT UP was in the Daily News, and that person was saying that as long as there was no butt sex without condoms, nobody has anything to worry about.
That's what I was about to ask. Can you get AIDS from swallowing AIDS nut?
You can.
Can you really?
You can.
But I don't think he was doing all the swallowing, I think, right?
He was, yeah.
Okay, right. Yeah, true.
I mean, there is a smaller risk of transmission if you're the receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Jake?
Dude, 38. You said 3,800 kids calling him. Like, that's a lot of.
I mean, that could be. I'm imagining the same kid would go get $20 every day.
Yeah, I think there was definitely repeats.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's got shit every day.
But like over the but if you think about it, over the years from 75 until 92, that's just like thousands of kids. Just
He has a pitcher of cum in his refrigerator. He has to. And he just like takes the lid
milk's
off.
bad.
Yeah.
Actually, no, this comes good.
It's like that scene from Rocky where he's cracking the eggs, but it's him just drinking jizz.
you should switch to almond cum. That never goes bad.
Is that true?
Almond milk?
Yeah.
It at least lasts
it lasts a lot.
Way
so much longer than
Okay.
regular
Yeah.
ass milk.
I didn't know that.
There was, in reading so many of the old news articles that I read, there was one that really cracked me up. Do you know Stu Bykowski?
Yeah.
The writer for the Daily
Yeah.
News. He
Just
retired a
retired.
few years ago,
Yeah.
Not a guy that I'm fond of. I actually
anyone.
fought with him on Twitter once.
Did you really?
I forget what it was about. I think it was probably about like that Thai sex trip that he took.
Yeah. And he got mad and was screaming at me at Fergie's one night. Victor Fiorillo, Victor
Yeah,
Fiorillo, right? Victor Fiorillo's, I think it was his 40th birthday. He had a roast basically for himself. Like he went to a party and we did a roast at Fergie's, and he asked me to be the roast master. And Stu Bykowski was on it, and they like didn't like each other really. Like it was this like love-hate thing, but like more hate. So he was on edge anyway, and he was going last.
You make sure you hold on.
Oh yeah, he was going last, and he kept pushing him back and back, and like I was the host, like the roast master, so I had to announce. He's like, keep pushing Stu back, and I was, Stu was like, put me on. And he was like just getting so angry, like screaming. It was crazy. Yeah.
What was your argument with him about?
I'm pretty sure. I got to go back and look, but I'm pretty sure it was about just how creepy the article came off.
Okay, you saw this article that he wrote himself.
He wrote, about going.
And he admitted he was going to have sex in Thailand.
I think in the article he was like observing all of this. I don't think he ever said that he partook in anything. But I think
So
he
you
said
were
he
on-
went there with a friend.
on Perks on Twitter being like, I know you fuck lady boys over there.
Yeah, I believe that was probably the argument.
Yep. And then he said, nuh-uh, and you just had to go in on him.
But dude, there's a great video. So he retired in 2020. And there's this great video where he's basically having a goodbye party that he didn't want. After this video came out, everybody mentioned how he said he clearly didn't want a retirement party. But however, they just got him when he was in the office. All these people gathered around. I guess they had a fucking cake or whatever. And this woman who was an architecture critic for the Inquirer named Inga Saffron.
Inga Saffron. Yeah.
Yeah. She got the microphone and she was talking, and I think he thought he was about to get roasted. So he's standing there. He's got a big smile on his face. He's fucking wearing a Hawaiian shirt. Real dildo. And during her goodbye speech, where she's talking about Stu Bykowski, she mentions, and I quote, his taste for child prostitutes. And he fucking loses it.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
This is at his fucking retirement
Yes.
party?
Yeah.
Mike, how vindicated did you feel in that moment when you saw
Oh, on cloud nine.
Dude.
Wait, why was there footage of this? Who put this on the internet?
I don't know. I don't know, but if you just Google like Stu Bykowski retirement,
He was
it'll come
hated
up.
by his entire coworker staff.
He is a very hateable guy.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Now he ended up suing this lady. I don't know what came of it, but he's fucking 81 now, and he's still fucking going hard.
Living in Thailand.
So getting back to Uncle Eddie, March 27th, 1993 rolls around, and he dies from complications due to AIDS.
Did he have any nieces or nephews, by the way? Who was he an uncle to?
Hopefully no one.
I'm sorry. All I could think of was that question. In 92, in jail?
In 1993.
93, so a
93.
year later.
In jail. Dude, he was a week away from his trial.
That would have been so bonkers. Like, we were deprived of the craziest trial in Philly history.
Yeah, that
by a
would have been.
week. Yeah.
It's hard to find like anything related to what evidence they had other than
The wiretap and what they found.
but even like what they saw, because it was even hard finding the information that like, okay, there were two 15-year-old kids in there and they were selling underwear and he was about to take pictures, but you would think that there's so many more details around what was found, what people said, what people were willing to testify about.
Right, would any of that Sandusky stuff would have come out in that trial? I doubt it,
Right.
right? Because he didn't get busted for another 2 decades.
Yeah, he didn't get arrested until 2012.
Right.
I have a theory about that. I'm completely unsupported.
What is it?
Is that maybe he met Sandusky through his brother, who maybe helped Sandusky get some stuff taken care of early on.
Right, because it was getting brushed under the rug for
Yeah.
And then
decades.
he got
right?
somebody got rid of the brother.
There was also a prominent, I don't know about prominent, but I remember a prosecutor getting killed or going missing and then being found dead. That was one of the people working on the Sandusky case. Do you remember that?
Around the time when he got busted?
Like
believe so.
2012-ish,
Yeah,
right? I remember
yeah.
that. Yeah.
I can
Clinton
see-
related.
Yeah. I can see this going like all the way to the top.
Yeah.
Dude, on a Sandusky note, someone I know that is close friends with the person who played Penn State football in the early 80s when Sandusky was coaching there said that Sandusky still has contact with people within the football program and will often send them notes on that week's game.
Oh, that's right. Sandusky's still alive. I
He is.
forgot about
Yeah.
that. Like, he's still kicking.
Dude, I'm willing to bet that he's got a pretty sweet setup in jail.
I bet.
Because he kept his fucking mouth shut. You know he's not where it all starts and ends.
Yeah.
And he's a fucking moron. You ever hear Jerry Sandusky speak?
Oh, yeah, he's a
That's
big
why.
child.
That's
Yeah,
why
he is.
That's why he's the guy in jail.
Yeah.
They made him
He
the
took the
monster,
fall.
but I don't think he took. I think they made him. You know what I mean? Like he was that dumb.
Really?
Yeah.
Is he that? I don't think I've heard
Dude.
him speak at length.
He does. He sounds like an old child.
Yeah.
He sounds like he would probably confess to this at every barbecue he's ever been at.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes pull the pants down.
Sherry, you want another hot dog? Could you cut it in half? Cut it in half and give me two. Yeah, man.
Another creepy thing is if you look up Eddie Savitz's lawyer at the time, his name was, I wrote it down.
Whittles.
Yeah, Barnaby C. Whittles.
Yeah.
Which is like, if I put that name in a sketch, you guys are like, that's the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah,
You change
yeah.
that
Just
name.
change the name,
Yeah,
please.
Barnaby
Yeah.
C. Whittles.
No one's gonna buy that.
In one of the articles I read, when he hired him as his lawyer, it said Barnaby Whittles, a nice man.
On his card or like?
No, in the article where they were
A
talking
nice
about it.
man.
He does seem like a nice fellow. He's still practicing law.
Is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whittles is? Mm-hmm. Whittles is still in the fucking game?
We should hire him. Like, you should
Oh, yeah.
hire him. Ask him to come over one night for some legal advice. Like, look, I got into this little thing. I just need to check it out. And then put the cameras on and be like,
God.
tell us about Uncle Eddie.
Ooh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I
like
can't
the way
believe
you
I've never
think,
heard
too.
any of this stuff.
Well, again, it is very weird because he died, so that was kind of the end of it.
Yeah, it would have been obviously a much more spectacle.
Like, if he was
bigger
still
spectacle.
around,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But like, it makes a lot of sense. What Mike's saying is like, just it got swept under the rug. And like you barely see anything or like online.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
references to that.
Everyone that age right now, they're the baby boomers of the, they're about to retire. They don't want to talk about this.
Yeah.
This is all everyone in Philly's secret.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
that thousands of them share.
yeah.
There's so many articles where people are just blaming all the victims.
Yeah.
I've seen them described as two-bit hustlers and that they knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
They willingly went there.
What's your side hustle? Yeah.
Well, and that's the weird part. And like, you don't want to victim blame, but at the same time, like, you would see guys interviewed at 92. Like, if you look at articles, like, guys would just be in like Grace Ferry or whatever, who were like in their 20s. They're like, yeah, I went over there and just shit on them and whatever. And
Yeah.
like, because it wasn't like a thing that where they were like, I mean, sure, like violated themselves physically. So they were just like, yeah, I'll just do something weird and get away and get some money and go. So like,
Yeah.
some of them didn't see it as that they were a victim, which is weird. And just like everybody knew about it apparently. Like just it was just widespread.
That is fucking crazy. Imagine being a kid in the fucking 80s and being like, man, my dream when I grow up, I'm going to sell my dirty underwear. It's like you get the chance to do it as a kid. You're like, I never thought this would come true.
I'd feel bad. I'd have such low self-esteem. I'd be so worried that he wouldn't like me. Like I'd show up and like give him my dirty undies or whatever, and then like he just gives me like nosebleed seats to the Globetrotters. I'm like, all right.
You think that, like, the creator of OnlyFans found this story and like, wait a minute, like, we're on to something here.
Do you think like kids like would ever not be able to like produce a lot, so they just like smear some pudding in there? Oh, dude, Stu Bykowski did write something very funny. In one of his op-eds, he concluded it with a Eddie Savitz joke. Y'all want to hear it?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Who turned Fast Eddie into the cops?
Who?
A stool pigeon.
Stu, you fucking firecracker.
What a minx.
He is.
Is Uncle Eddie the inspiration for Crazy Eddie from the Brave
No.
Little Toaster?
No, totally different.
Okay.
And Crazy Eddie from the commercials. Crazy Eddie.
Isn't that what okay.
Probably, yeah.
Crazy Eddie.
The
I don't know the
inspiration
Brave Little Toaster, but
I
mean,
think
I know
something
I haven't
along the
seen
line
that,
of
but
Crazy
yeah.
Eddie's, but they call him something different.
That's a guy. He went to jail. He was a little.
He did, yeah.
But like not.
That was just like the Wiz on
fraud and
Seinfeld,
stuff.
right? Like a commercial about selling appliances for the cheap.
Yeah.
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 Pointing to a conspiratorial angle, one of the other things that they found when they collected all the evidence that they found, and I only saw this mentioned in one place, which is especially fucked up because my first thought is that it would provide much more information to more fucked up shit, was that one of the things that was confiscated was a box of index cards where everything written on the index cards was written in a code that they could not decipher.
Oh wow.
Like the Zodiac.
That was in that new DC movie, Scatman.
Stu Bykowski has to decipher it.
That's crazy. So they don't have any clue what's written on that. It's
No.
probably stats of how boys' poops taste.
It's like Yelp before Yelp. You know?
Man, the cheese thing. When you eat enough shit in your life that you know that you want cheese to be in the diet. How do you live for so long on a diet of shit?
By the way, I don't like cheese in general. Like I don't like eating cheese. That would be the gross part for me. Be like, I gotta eat cheese. This is gross. So I can go over there and shit in his mouth. Yeah.
He would probably have them suck down a green smoothie before they shit too. Get all those nutrients.
Passing around polyos, put everybody in line.
Yeah. So happy birthday in heaven, Uncle Eddie.
I hope he got his hair back too. Like I hope he
You do in heaven.
in heaven.
Yeah. You think instead of wings, he just asked for underwear?
Yeah.
He could use my underwear as the wings.
He's just like laying under a cloud like this.
Man, I almost would have preferred murder on this one.
Oh, well. I'm just getting you hot and heavy for next week.
Yeah,
Let me ask you this. Have you ever shit on anyone?
I have not. No.
Have you ever felt compelled to?
No. I guess I'm lucky in that way.
Yeah. How about you guys? Dumpers?
Not yet,
No.
Jake.
No.
Not ruling it out though.
Yeah.
Anything's possible in the future.
Hey, I mean, I gotta pay the rent, you know.
I was trying to calculate how many dumps would get me my rent.
What's your price?
My price?
Yeah, what's your price for our listeners? Oh yeah. What would it take for them to offer
Jake,
you?
I will say this, and this is what I'm basing it off of.
Yeah.
When I had a coworker who went to the University of Buffalo, and he said that his old roommate had a shit fetish, and he would let word know around campus that if you were a man who could come and shit
Dude.
in the toilet,
His roommate?
dude, the deal was you would shit in the toilet while he hid in the shower. He just wanted to hear you shit.
Oh my god.
You didn't have to put it on him. You didn't have to smear it on him. None of that. But the going rate for that was $50. So that would be mine.
I had a buddy of mine dated a girl in college, and she had an ex-boyfriend, and she's like, I had to break up with this guy. He had a thing where he wanted her to go to the bathroom, and he wanted to be in there with her, and he's like, at that part where you're shitting and you really start straining, and it's like, you know, when you're really pushing, he's like, I want to hold your hand, and I want you to squeeze my hand when you're like,
Jesus.
that's what he wanted.
Was he jerking off?
I get probably. I don't know.
The Beatles wrote a song about that.
Yeah.
I wanna hold your hand.
I actually demand that my wife sit on the toilet with me when I shit.
We installed side by
Are
side.
you on her lap or is she on yours?
It depends whoever's got a shit. Actually, I've never shit on my wife. I have pissed on her though.
On purpose?
Yeah, I think, but I only did it once, and in hindsight, I think it was probably just because I was excited that we got a new apartment.
You were just marking your territory.
Yeah.
Were you in the shower at least?
She was, yeah.
Oh God.
She was.
outside.
I was downstairs in the living room.
Do people do it anywhere else but the shower?
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sure.
that's why
Yeah.
people get rubber sheets.
I was about to say, go to Home Depot
There's a-
and
there's a-
see who's buying the big plastic tarps like we had on our lap for the ice episode. Most
That's
of
what
those
those
guys
are?
aren't painters in the classical sense.
Oh my God.
They are doing paint jobs,
That's disgusting.
but it ain't Sherman Williams.
Here, can you turn the camera off just real
Okay.
quick?
Jake, I don't know if anybody's ever told you this, but you would look incredible with piss dripping from your glasses. Get your little windshield wipers for your glasses.
You're not the first person to tell me that, Mike.
Thank you.
Yeah, I get a lot of emails.
Yeah, I'm not a piss man.
So you gave it the old college try, and it wasn't for you. That's what
I
happened.
did. She was a real good sport about it.
So it's you that wanted to see if you liked it. That's what was happening.
Yeah.
Wow,
Was
that is
this
truly a good
around
sport.
the time of all the R. Kelly allegations?
No, this was before R. Kelly.
Oh, really?
No, that was
Dude,
2003.
Did this make you like?
Dude, I got my apartment in 2001.
Wow.
No shit. Okay. Wow.
You're
So
just
the
watching
R stood
towers
for
fall.
rainy.
What did you say?
I said he's just watching the towers fall. And like, let me do it. Let me do it. Let me do it.
Yeah, so we've never had a pervert on this show like Eddie Savitz. And I will give him this. Like, at least there was no murder.
Yeah.
But I can't even say that because according to the guy that I mentioned that was giving the info about the fucking film that was changing hands.
Yeah.
He said a part of that film was snuff films.
Oh, wow.
Of children?
Yeah.
Like stuff is me. That's when they get murdered.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So it's murder adjacent.
So, dude, that's why I think that he probably made a lot of money
Right.
in
It wasn't just his fucking
transferring.
company.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So he himself might not have been into that.
I mean, he was the ground floor for grooming kids into a position where they might be in a snuff film, essentially.
Yeah.
So he's like an accessory.
Well, even that was it. Greg guy, is that his name?
Greg Butcheroni.
Like he was even saying he's like, by the time I went to Penn State and that type of thing, like he was like, I was already. He's like, I was past the grooming process. I was in. He's like, I knew what I was in for. I was doing it, and like, like I knew I was making money, so it was like I was ready to go. You know? So it was like, yeah.
Was he still on the receiving end at that point?
Yeah.
Like, are you getting your dick sucked for money still when you're going up to the Penn State thing, or are you now?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think you're
doing
at the
whatever?
mercy of whoever you pair up with.
Right, you go in kind of being like, whatever they need is what I'll. Jesus Christ.
You're a utility player.
Go Phils.
Designated shitter.
You're too much, Jake.
Mike shit.
Now, how did this come up that you two? Did you know that he liked this guy or knew about him?
I knew that Chip was a big fan of the Twitter account, Eddie Savitz.
Yeah.
Okay, and that obviously
at Eddie Savitz. If any listeners, you should check it
and
out.
you guys have no idea who is running it.
None whatsoever.
Is it related in any way to this man's crimes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all he tweets about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's where the connection
Check it out,
was.
man.
I will. On Elon Musk's new app.
If you guys had pervert money, how far would your perversions go? I like how you look right at Jake when I ask that.
That felt
Yeah, you go
comfortable.
first.
It is weird that both perverts we talked about in the show, not only from Philadelphia, also involve cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
True.
do all perversions involve cheese?
I don't know if they all do, but
If you had the option, would you jerk off the Swiss cheese pervert? Or did you just have to watch him jerk off? Or did you have to jerk him off with the slice of cheese?
Well, there's a lot of holes in that theory. Come on. You see what I did, you guys? You see what I did there?
What would you rather do? Have the man watch you take a shit
yeah, I
Yeah.
could do that.
rather than make a man pleasure?
Yeah, you teach a man to shit.
You feed him for a day. You feed Eddie Savitz for a day. What would you guys do if I told you I shit myself during this episode?
I've seen it happen before.
I'm getting my
buddy.
wallet out right now.
Michael motorcycle shit his pants and wears a diaper.
Callback.
Oh my God. When we went to Los Angeles, we were driving and I had a little accident. Doesn't happen often, but I gambled with a fart and I lost.
There's traffic's bad out
Yes,
there.
yeah,
It is, yeah.
Not a car accident. Not a car accident, just to be clear.
No, in my pants. And I was not very proud of it. And John rubbed it in by saying that little ditty, which again was what, John?
Michael motorcycle shit his pants and wears a diaper.
Dude, we were walking back from Starbucks. Do you remember this? And John just starts losing his fucking mind. Like this, like just, and we're like, what is he laughing at?
Yeah, we were not speaking at all. I just started cracking up when I wrote that in my head. And I think it might be the funniest thing I've ever said.
I was like, it
You are
doesn't even
something.
rhyme.
No, I will do a speech impediment to make it rhyme. The way we found out about this, though, is we were supposed to leave to go film or record whatever we were doing that day.
Yep.
At 10 or something. And at 10:05, Mike is like, I had to go do laundry. I'll be back on a 3-day trip.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we got it out of him.
Yeah, laundry is that's telltale. When you're at a hotel and you see somebody doing laundry, you know something bad.
True. I do it regardless.
Yeah.
I just like having clean stuff going home.
I got you.
Yeah, you just shitting your undies, boy.
If you don't have a pizza box around, you have to.
Could you imagine waiting out in the hallway and you shit a little pit in your pants before it's your time to come in and shit and sell your underwear? Do you think you get to still sell your
Yeah.
shitty underwear?
I think I blew my shot. Yeah.
This is cold.
I'd like to speak to the manager.
Yeah. 30 minutes or less.
All right, boys. Anything you want to add about Uncle Eddie?
I think I learned everything I needed to know about him, and then a little more.
I gotta find out if what Ben's apartment and if it's the same one.
Well, no, I think Ben was like on like the 8th floor. Or
Oh,
something
okay.
Like that. If I remember correctly, I
Yeah.
could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was pretty low.
That's
You had to have Savitz money to get him up in the double digits, you know?
Had no idea it was so close to where we always
Yeah.
are.
It's a cool looking building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If that apartment was open right now, would you guys be open to making that our studio?
Like, it still smells like shit.
For $3,000 a month, sounds like a bargain, Mike.
Yeah.
Did you get through all your notes? Did we cover everything that you wanted to cover?
Yeah. Yeah.
Were there things that you didn't even have to bring up because Mike
Oh,
already
well,
had it
I mean,
covered?
Mike did the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
I just had a couple. Yeah.
I don't have a comment. I have a question for both of you.
Yes,
How
Jake.
old were you when you first found out about Eddie Savitz?
As it happened.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
When
After the
news
arrest,
broke?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
1992.
So you didn't hear anything of him prior to that?
No.
You were too young to be in the, or too far away from Center City to be in the earshot of, if you want to make some
Right,
extra
yeah.
money.
Right. Yeah.
Now,
it's too
were
far.
you after like the news broke? Were people in your school were they making was it a joke that people did that, or were people coming forward as fake, how people say they were in 9/11?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I sold my undies to
Yeah,
him.
yeah. like that?
I sold my
I don't
undies to
remember it.
Steve Ranazizi. No, it was definitely a joke. It was definitely a big
Yeah.
oh, here comes Uncle Eddie. Uncle Eddie is, it was just, and I think that it was the creep factor too, because he's got those glasses and the comb over, I guess the toupee,
Right.
and and we never got a chance. At least I don't think we ever got a chance to hear him speak. There's no.
Yeah, there is an air of mystery about him.
So yes, so there is this he's this squirrely little dude, nerdy guy that you're so, and then it wasn't even you got to see him testify, and it's oh, he actually seems like a normal guy on the stand,
Right.
he sounds like my uncle or something like that. But you never got to hear him talk, so it was just this air of weird mystery. This is just creepy as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still waiting to find out if he's bussing. We'll never know.
Ladies and gentlemen, could you please reply to us on Patreon? Uncle Eddie, bussin' or nah? Yeah, imagine if bussin' was a term back then. He gets your undies, like, damn, that's bussin'.
Dude, what do you think? Are you kind of hoping he has an extreme reaction?
Oh, yeah, like, damn, he likes my flavor.
Yeah, he smells them and starts acting like Beetlejuice. Whoa!
Nice fucking undies.
We should do a little competition next time. Maybe.
I'm not shitting in.
I cannot believe this started with you making us open up boxes of shit.
Dude,
Jesus Christ.
We ate pizza so good.
How did it stay contained over there? Was it covered with something?
No.
As soon as you shake those things around, they really start to permeate the air, man.
Dog, I thought you were going to smell it as soon as you walked in here, but.
I saw them and I was I knew something's up. I know
These two knew about it, right? You guys were in on it.
yeah, I saw.
Did you think it smelled before we opened it?
No, not until you opened it.
Okay.
Yeah, those boxes really hold it in.
Hey, if you have a cat, you might want to reconsider your current litter box situation.
By the way, if Uncle Eddie somehow got acquitted and he lived, what a spokesperson for Ziploc that dude would be. Do you know what I mean? Or Febreze. Hi, I'm Eddie Savitz. And this entire storage locker is filled with shit. But because yellow and blue make green, you don't smell any of it.
It's going to Tupperware parties. That was
Chip, anything you want to promote before we go?
Just follow me at Chip Chantry on Twitter and Instagram. I would love that. And you should follow Eddie Savitz on Twitter. Whoever has that account. Yeah.
And you guys have no idea who it is. It's not been anybody comedy related ever.
I think it'll always be a mystery. Maybe it's him from the grave.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That's what I bet it is.
Yeah, I think it's Eddie from the grave. Yeah. I'm just Eddie from the grave.
Oh yeah, follow Jose Canseco on Twitter too. He's going pretty hard on Alex, old $250 million man. What's his last name? Alex
Jones?
third baseman for Rodriguez.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
A-Rod.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have some kind of beef, and I don't know if you know, Jose Canseco is very prolific on Twitter
Yes.
these days. He's doesn't seem to have it all together.
Okay.
I still like you, Jose. But he's going hard today on Alex Rodriguez on Twitter.
He's like baseball's Iron Sheik.
Yeah, for real. That's actually perfect.
Jacob, anything you want to say?
No, thank you for watching. That's it.
All right. If you're watching this on Patreon, thank you for becoming a patron. If you're watching this for free, check out our Patreon, which is at patreon.com/Little Stinkers. That's LILSTINKERS. Patrons get every episode at least a week before everybody else, in addition to extra content that we create, monthly AMAs, and I don't know about you guys, but whoa, Jake, look at that.
Oh, Jake.
I'd be open to doing more AMAs because I really have a ton of fun doing that.
They are fun.
Oh my God. So check that out. All at patreon.com/Little Stinkers. For those that don't. Oh, we want to clarify the Shaner art giveaway. Danny, can you let them know how? So we're giving it away on Instagram, correct? All right. If you go to the Little Stinkers Instagram page, I still have no idea what the fuck we're doing. So maybe we'll save this for next week. All right. We'll figure it out.
Why don't you take
just do it.
3 to 5 minutes and explain it?
But if you watch the Swiss cheese Dr. Shaner episode from about 3 weeks ago, you'll notice that Shaner created a bunch of Rorschach tests based upon cheese that were exquisite drawings that I have over here in the corner of the room that we would love to give away to somebody. And we're going to do it by giving it away to someone who follows our Instagram. But I still don't know how we're going to do it, John.
Yeah, I know you don't.
Every week we're getting closer and closer to figuring it out, though.
Fall 2023, we are going to have this figured out.
We're getting messages. People are like, what about the cheese drawing?
We're going to get into Practical Jokers episode before we figure out how to give away these fucking drawings.
The important thing is follow Little Stinkers on Instagram. That's probably where the contest will be centered from.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Let's go with that.
Yeah. Once we hit, I don't know, 2 million followers on Instagram, we'll start giving these things out. How's that sound?
I like that.
Yeah.
Jake, I would not be stunned if you were able to take your panties off without unbuttoning your pants right now.
I can do it.
I believe in you, brother. Chip, make sure these all go to a good home.
I will. Mine.
Wait a minute. Oh, wait. Call me Pudini because it's coming off.
Chip, thank you very much for joining us
Thank
tonight.
you. It's been an honor and a privilege.
All right, Chip Chantry, everyone. And guys, thank you for watching. Love you guys. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.